Greetings, this is Dwayne from CFRN. We are going to recap the S&P 500 E-mini futures for April 11th and 12th, 2012. You've seen enough of the videos by now. If you haven't, back up and catch some of the rhetoric. Those of you who've been following along, you know that this is our first trigger right here. Okay, going to use my horizontal tool, which I normally use only for weekly trading zones, except in these videos to easily highlight the current price, or the price where we would enter a trade. Now, price runs up. Obviously we have a bullish scenario. All we need is a pullback to get long. Where would you get long? Lots of ways to do it. Here's how we do it. When price pulls back during the live market, that spot right there, over here, it's going to be highlighted in green. Okay, in the color green. I'll show you. Let me scoot this up to real time tonight. See how this is highlighted over there in green? Okay. This trade was highlighted exactly the same way in green. So there was no question about, should I get in here? Is it over here? It was exactly 1360.50. Not to belabor the point, but I just want you to understand. Okay. Now I've thrown a little something else onto the chart tonight. Okay, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it. I am going to point out just a couple of things. The slingshot, well, that's a very simplistic name, if you will. The indicator itself is, you know, on one side of the coin, it's very simple. The other side of the coin, based on all the heavy lifting that goes on in the background vis-a-vis math, it's quite complicated. We teach you to use it. We teach you to use a very complicated tool in a very straightforward manner. Okay. Now I'm going to tell you that this right here. Okay, I'm not going to go into great details. I'm just going to tell you that this indicator right here is saying get long. Everything I've been showing over the past videos, we know that this is telling us to get long. Okay, get long where? 1360, 1361, 61 and change. No, exactly 1360.50. All right. What happens? Price peaks, if you will, at 1369.50. So what is that? It's 9.5 points, stem to stern. Do you get it all? Probably not. You could, in theory, but now we get a nice little pullback. Okay, right to the BBC, right here. Okay, that price 65.75, and this time price rallies up to 1369. So 1369 minus 1365.75 is 3 1/4 points. All right. So we had a 9.5 point move up, total move. Okay. How much you are able to take out of that, that's entirely up to you. I'm just pointing out how far it traveled. Okay. This traveled 3 1/4 points. Okay. Then we get another pullback. The screen's going to start to look crowded in a minute, so I'll have to get rid of some stuff. Pullback is to 1366.75, and price once again runs up to, this time it goes to 69.25. So let's go 69.25 minus 66.75, 2.5, 9.5, 3.25, 2.5. That's telling you something. First push 9.5, second push 3.25, third push 2.5. Okay, does that mean party's over? I don't know. Do we have any additional confirmation down here on the long side? We've got some, but it's not really easy to explain. I'm not going to go there right now. I'm going to, let's see, we measured this one, we measured this one. Now, the first short entry that you get, and there are many on our team, many of our partners who would debate, nah, that's not really a good short entry. All right, but we can't have all winners, now can we? Bearish cross, pull back with literally no space, but enough will measure it. 1367. Price pulls back to 67. Once it pulls back to 67 on this candle, it drops to 65.75. That would be 1.25. 5 ticks of travel. You know what I'd really call that? Let's just say you got stopped out. Fair enough? Okay. Let's keep moving. Now, after we get stopped out, we get a bullish cross. But guess what? We don't, you know, it just didn't pull back quite far enough. And that's going to happen. And are there ways you can still take advantage of that? Yes, there is. Is that all beyond the scope of this video? Yes. Next trade, pullback. Strike. New visitor from Belgium. Welcome. Alright, now we get a bearish cross. What do we got going on? Yeah. Now, as you can see, I'm going to need to make some of these lines go away, otherwise it gets very confusing. Alright, we get our bearish cross, we get our pullback, and then price drops to here. Okay. On the pullback, there's no ambiguity on the entry. It is exactly 1367.25. 1367.25, and it drops to 1364. 3.25 points. Okay. From here, the exact entry to the tick, it drops 3.25 points. Now, as you know from this whole series of videos that I've done, I don't just point out the winners. Don't like to even use that term. I'd rather use a term like this is a trade that provided a nice profit. 3.25 points. You know, we throw that around like, yeah, 3.25 points. What is that? Well, at $50 a point, it's $162.50. Granted, $162.50. That's not a grand sum of money. Okay? But let's say you've been at this a while and you trade 10 contracts. If you're new, you might go, 10 contracts? What are you, nuts? That's a lot. Well, We have a gentleman on the radio program from time to time, a guy I've known for several years now. Done a number of interviews. You can go search Michael X CFRN, Google it. You can bring up podcasts, listen to the guy. He's the real deal. Okay? He does own a seat on the exchange, but he trades his own money from his own office. Okay, a seat on the exchange is just about getting a good commission on his trades. 10,000 contracts a day. So are we stretching it to say that maybe somebody's trading 10 contracts a day? No, I don't think so. 162.50 times just 10 contracts. It's $1,625. $1,625. That's, now there's no doubt about where you got in, because we know the exact entry. Our indicator tells us this is where you get in. This is the entry, this is the price. Do you have a couple ticks of drawdown? Yes. We risk 2 points on every one of these trades in this market, in this setup. Never more than 2 points. And once the trade is engaged, we manage the risk rather aggressively. So you know what? If you caught the whole thing, and we've already had that discussion so many times, let's just not go there. Let's just say you got part of it. You know, let's say you got 2.5. Okay. 2.5 times $50 a point, it's 125. Times 10 contracts, $12.50. Okay, am I trying to paint some rosy picture about how you make a trade a day, make $1,000, go about your business? No. It's just that if I'm going to point out the realities of being stopped out, okay, I'm going to point out, it's only fair that I show you the other side of the coin. Whether you ultimately decide that you are going to be a trader and trade futures for a living, and if that's your calling and your forte and all of that, that's a whole nother issue. That's why we invite you to come take the free trial. CFRN.net/apply. Come, visit, hang out, not for one day, not for just 2 hours, but for an entire week. Leave no stone unturned, no tire unkicked. Ask any question you want, and we will give you an answer. We're not one of those rooms with the angry gurus who bite your head off every time you question the knowledge of the guru. Okay, we don't have that kind of a mindset or mentality. We're a community of believers who trade for a living. If you want to be a part of that community, then that's a possibility. You got to take the free trial first. Okay. Am I saying that if you just like show up one day and say, nah, I don't want to take the free trial, I just want to become a partner, that we'll turn your money down? Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm saying. It's not just about the money. We want to get to know you. Okay, we're a community, and that means we all need to be able to get along. And quite frankly, you know, what we have might not be for you, and what you have might not be for us. Okay? I'm just shooting straight with you. All right. So this trade happens, you get what you get, but we know that the move down, the maximum is 3.25 points. Okay, couldn't get any more out of it than that, but you could get 3.25. We pull back here. Okay, the short entry would be right here, and you would be stopped out of that trade for a maximum of 2 points, possibly less depending upon how you manage the trade, but no more than 2 points. Okay, alright, we get a bullish cross, we get a pullback to right there, 1366.50, and price once again goes to 1369.25. Okay, 69.25 minus 66.5 equals 2.75 points. Okay. We just hit noon Chicago time. And I've already burned up 15 minutes on this video. Okay. Seriously, if you started trading at the open, 8:30, if you came in here at 8:30, your first trade was, let's see, 8:30. If you came at 8:30, you missed this, but you caught this and or this. Okay. I don't think, you know what? I don't think we measured this one, but I don't think we measured this one. That entry, 66.25, and it went up to 68.5. So 68.5 minus 66.25, 2.25. Okay. All right. So you had a 2.25 and a 2.5. Okay. Now let's say you just were able to get reasonably. Let's say you took a 1.5 out of each one, or you took 2. You run a 2x2 bracket. Okay. It's 9 a.m. You've already had 2 trades. You pocketed a couple points on each one. You got 4 points for the day. 4 points times $50 a point. It's 200 bucks. You trade in the 10. It's $2 grand. All right. If you hit these 2 trades, well, that pretty much wipes that out. So there's a lot to be said for getting in, making your money, calling it a day. Can you push? Can you push? Can you push? You can. I want to tell you something. Michael X, the guy that comes on the radio show, the guy that I can vouch for, who's the real deal, although he trades 10,000 contracts a day, on average, at the end of the day, guess how many points he has netted? You got it. 2 points. So that's a lot of pushing and moving, and you know, and at the end of the day, 2 points. So for some people, that's their mindset. They're traders. They want to work all day. They want to do the deal. They want to be in the trade. They love the work. For other people, you know, you've probably gone through it. You made some points. You had a great day, man. You're feeling good about life. Wow, this trading thing is so awesome. It's not even noon. I've made X number of dollars. And then somehow, in the final 2 hours of the day, you managed not only to give back everything that you had earned before lunch, but you gave back a little bit from yesterday. It doesn't take too many days of that in a row for you to say, you know what, I got to reevaluate what I'm doing here. Okay? I highly suggest that you work with a daily goal, whether it's dollars, whether it's points, whether it's number of hours traded, maybe 2 hours at the open, 2 hours at the close, you know, the chopped up time in the middle of the day. It's not always choppy in the middle of the day, but it can be. And if you can identify that and avoid it, that certainly puts the odds a little more in your favor. Okay? All right. So, this pullback here ran for a couple points. I'm just going to move quickly because I think you guys are catching this by now. Okay. Bearish cross, pullback. Okay. I need to move that over so you can see the drawdown. All right. Okay. The pullback is to 66.25 right here. You might have taken it over here. That's fine. But you definitely took it here. 66.25, pullback, no questions. All right. And then price drops to from 66.25 goes to 62.75. 66.25, 62.75, 3.5 points. Okay. 3.5. Yeah. That's to here. Then it pulls back again. Pulls back to 65 1/4. Drops to 62.50. 65 1/4 minus 62.50. 2.75. Yes, I could probably do it in my head, but it's been a long day. 2.75. Oh my goodness. We're only through one day. Gotta pick up the pace. Okay, so you pull back here. There's a potential for a little something, but I'm just going to start slashing these things. If they don't look really good, I'm just going to X them out. You get no long setup here because there's no pull away. Okay. Even on this big move here, unless you use a different technique that we can and will teach you, okay, it's not there. I'll show you where it is. It's here. Okay. The pullback is to 1365.75, and it goes up to 72.75. So 72.75 minus 66.75, 6 points. If you took half of that, that would be a day maker. For me, it would. Okay. Now it runs up 6 points, and then it pulls all the way back again. What are you going to do about that? Well, 67.75 would be the entry. The drawdown would be 65.50. 67.75 to 65.50 is 2 1/4 points. What does that mean? You got stopped out. Using our rules and our methodology, because we never risk more than 2 points on this setup in this time frame. Okay? Price pulls back, takes off, makes a nice run, but unfortunately you got stopped out by a tick. Over here you get the pullback and you get nothing to the upside. So once again, stopped out. Okay? I'm telling you, we're going to move fast through the rest of this. Alright. Now you get a bearish cross, get a pullback to 66.75, price drops to 65.50, 1.25. That's the truth. But this is more like the ugly reality of it. It's right at the opening bell. Chances of you taking that right into the open? It depends on you, I guess. Alright. What do we got here? Bullish cross. Is there a way to participate in this? Yeah. Can I show you it tonight? No. Will we teach it to you if you become a partner? Yes. Alright. The next valid trade setup, right here, long trade. The entry is right there at 72.25. And the initial rally takes us to 79.75. 79.75 minus 72.75 equals 7 points. 7-point rally. Okay. We get another pullback. And that pullback is to 78.25. Where's the drawdown? 77. You had a 1.25 point drawdown. What does that mean? It means you're still in the trade. Okay. You get triggered into this thing if you take it. Okay, this is a secondary pullback. Let's just call it here. It's going to be the same price either way. Potentially you could have got a little better price there, but let's say you got a worse price. That seems fair. Alright. So you had a little drawdown. 1.25 of drawdown. And then price goes from 78.25 up to 83. 83 minus 78.25 equals 4.75 points. Again, in the interest of reality, that's how far it traveled from entry to the zenith, as it's called. What you take out of that? Plenty of room to take something. That's all I can say. Alright, we're cruising through this day pretty quick. This is how it should be. Alright, we got another pullback on our hands. Right there. And the price is $13.81. The drawdown is $79.50. Ooh, this is close. Let's get out our calculators. 81 minus 79.5. 1.5 point drawdown. Yippee, you're still in the trade. Alright? And it runs up to 83.75. So from 81 to 83.75, right there. I'm going to wing it and call that 2.75. We'll leave the calculator out of it. 2.75. Okay. Fair enough. Alright. Next pullback. Are you catching on to how this kind of works? You're never at a loss as to where you're going to get in next. Ever. Okay, price pulls back to 82.5. You do not get stopped out. You take about 2 ticks of heat. Okay. And then price powers up to 88.50. See, 88.50 minus 82.50. Oh, great. This is the last trade. So far, good for 6 points. See, oh, come on. 6 points. Okay. All right. Now, this big red candle here, if you're wondering what that is, that's China missing their GDP prediction. It was anticipated they were going to hit 8.4, and when the number came out tonight on Globex, it was 8.1. And so the market tanked from 1388 all the way down to 1383 in very short order. Okay. In fact, we have a trade alert out right now to be short on a stop below 78. Okay, we're watching 80.81 to see if that's going to be support. It's a weekly trading zone, so we're going to watch 80.81. If it comes through there, takes out 78, we're going to sell that on a stop and look for potentially a 20 to 30 point move on the downside. Now, because tomorrow's Friday, that would entail holding over the weekend. We typically don't do that, so we'll take whatever the market hands us, up into the close tomorrow, or who knows, when London opens, we'll see how they handle the China missing their GDP projection. Okay. All right, so that was 6 points. Now, if you knew about the news and you knew it was coming out, And this thing started to just, I mean, it was moving. I'd like to think that you wouldn't have taken that trade, but maybe you didn't know any better. Maybe you took it. Maybe you got stopped out. Good news is you only got stopped out for 2 points. The entry on that would have been, oh, let's see. Well, we already counted this 6-point move up, right? Yes. But on the short side, no, I'm sorry, on this pullback here to 84, the drawdown on that would have been 81. It would have been a 3-point drawdown. You're out. Okay, and the bearish setup to go short has not developed yet. Okay, now I really wanted to walk you through this, but we've already gone 31 minutes, so I'm going to hire somebody that can do this quicker than I can, because I get caught up in the minutia and end up going on about things I hadn't intended to go on about. Now we're going to do something that we haven't done in any of the other videos. Okay, we're going to go through and count the stop outs. So I showed you every single order that would have, every legitimate setup, and every one that would have gotten stopped out. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, okay, so over the 2-day period, 8 got stopped out. 8 times 2 equals 16. Alright? Remember that number, 16. I'll write it down in case you forget. 16. Okay? Because we never risk more than 2 points. And in the S&P 500, rarely do you get any slippage because there's so much volume and it's such a liquid market. I'm not saying you'll never get slipped a tick, but okay. Let's say you got slipped a couple ticks. So 8 trades with a 2-point stop loss. 8 times 2, 16. Yeah, we'll call it 18 in case you got slipped a tick on. I think that gives you room to get slipped 1 tick on every trade, which is totally not going to happen. But so remember that number, 18. Okay, now let's walk it across here. 9.5 plus 3.25, 2.25, 2.5, 3.25, 2.75, 3.5, 2.75, 6. There's 1.25, but we just called it a scratch, remember, or a stop out. We counted that as negative 2 points. 7. 4.75. 2.75. 56. Okay, 56.25. Now, are we going to use that number? No. But wait, sir, you just added it up with the calculator. I know. But on every trade, I told you that this thing, you know, from the entry to the target, if it was 2.75, chance you getting 2.75 is like rolling snake eyes or something. Well, I'm not even sure what that means. I kind of know what it means, but you know what it means. The 6-point trade. Did you get all 6? No, you were probably scampering once you had 3. You were so excited, right? I mean, really. Okay. All right. So let's take this number that we have, this 56.25 that we've added up, and let's, you know, let's be realistic and take 20% of that away. No. No. No, let's take 30% away. No. 40? You know what? Let's bust it in half. 56.25 divided by 2 is 28.125. Let's call it 28. So if you were only able to get half of the available points, which is 28, okay, and we got stopped out all those times, and we got slippage on every one, that's 18. 28. Now remember, we had 56 potential points, but we just whacked that in half. Oh, we could only get half of that, which, you know what, is very realistic. Because you're not trading around the clock, are you? Are you? No, you're not. So, 56.25, total amount of points possible, whack that in half, not realistic. Let's make it a more realistic number. Let's call it 28. Now, we got stopped out 8 times 2 points each. That's 16 points, but we rounded that up to 18 just because maybe we had some slippage. All right? 28 minus 18 is 10. Now that's over the course of 2 days. That's an average of 5 points a day. Now you're scratching your head, you're going, wait a minute. You're telling me you went through all that 24 hours to show me 10 points, 5 points a day? When I could have just taken this one trade right here and got 6 points? I don't know what part of that you want me to deny, but I can't deny any of it because that's all the truth. And because of the lack of time, I couldn't really show you the filter, how to weed out these trades up here. But come take the free trial, cfrn.net/apply, and I'll do that. Okay. Now, because of the way I broke it down and broke it off and tied, you know, we ended up with 28 minus 18, 10 points. 5 points a day, 2 days in a row. Wow. Really? Okay. So, what's that worth? Well, if you can give 5 points a day, and if you can do that 5 days a week, that's 25 points. Times $50 a point. That's $12,500. Wait, could that be right? 5 points a day times 5 days is 25 points times $50 a point. How about $1,250? Does that sound more realistic? Yes. If you're the 10 contract trader, though, it does become $12,500. Okay. Which, you know, if you take a couple weeks vacation every year, that's a piece of change. All right. Now, let me say this: is past performance any indication of future results? Nope. But it's the best thing we got. Is trading risky? Yes. Can you lose all of your money? Absolutely. Everything I just showed you, although our entries are to the tick, whether it's in real time or in hindsight, the entries are to the tick. Okay? So you've watched these videos, you know where you are as a trader on Trader Mountain, you know what your abilities are to stay in a trade or to actually take the trade when the setup comes along. See, a lot of people struggle with that. Oh, okay, it says right here my entry is 1362 and a quarter, but I just heard that guy on TV say that Boone Pickens bought a helium balloon, and gee, I don't know, maybe it won't go up, and so maybe I better not take this long trade. You follow what I'm saying? Any of these trades where you are not available to take the trade and willing to take the trade and had the discipline to at least stay in the trade for some of its travel, then guess what? It's meaningless to you. It means nothing. It means zero. Even though I took all the points and whacked them in half and rounded up the stop outs, it's meaningless to you if you're not available and you don't take the trade. Number one, you got to be available, and number two, you got to take the trade. Am I saying you should sit in front of the charts 24 hours a day? No. I'm saying you need to come up with a trading plan. Okay? And that's part of what we help you develop if you become a CFRN partner. But you can't become a CFRN partner until you take the free trial. That's my point. CFRN.net/apply. Come take the free trial. During the week, we're not going to just let you watch us trade. We're not going to just answer your questions and try to teach you, what few things we do know about trading. We're also going to provide you with a trading platform, with charts, with our proprietary indicators. We're going to give you live real-time data for every futures market, from pork bellies to Emini futures, everything in between, all the currency futures, all the forex pairs, and we're going to charge you absolutely nothing for it. We're able to do this because of our relationship with our good friends and partners at Daniels Trading. They provide you with the platform, they provide you with the data, we provide you with the live trading room, and we give you access to us unfettered. You're unfettered and alive for a whole week, 2 hours a day, 5 days. But even when the markets are closed, we're available to you by email, by telephone. We'll work with you, help you get your chart set up, help you get your data flowing, your indicators indicating. And again, it is a true free trial. There's no tricks where, okay, you take the free trial, but you give us your credit card number, and if you don't cancel within 5 days, then we're going to bill you $1 gazillion. No. No. It's actually free. Okay? At the end of your free trial, you actually have to come to us and go, guys, that was like totally awesome. Could I pay you money now and be a part of this? And if you haven't been a cut up and acted ugly or offended anybody, chances are we'll just say, sure, we'd love to have you. So do that, cfrn.net/apply, or give us a call toll free, 866-928-3310. It's been my pleasure. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are, may the road rise up to meet you, the sun be at your face and the wind at your back. Is that how it goes? You know what I'm saying. If you don't, Google it. Take care. Hope to see you in the live trading room.